Alright, back here with part 2 of just some memorabilia from my basement gym. This one's kind of out here on its own. This is a t-shirt of Tom Arnold that says it could be worse, it could be Tom Arnold. Now, if you don't know who Tom Arnold is, he's an actor, comedian, he's been in a bunch of movies with Arnold, he's friends with Arnold, I met him. And Rachel and I went out to see him do comedy at the Funny Bone here in Columbus. And I've seen Tom. I helped him lose a bunch of weight. I used to help him online, like kind of was his online trainer for a second or whatever. And when I saw him, I introduced him to Rachel. Tom's just a funny dude. So I go, "Hey, Tom, this is my wife, Rachel." And he goes, "Oh man, I thought he was gay this whole time." Like fucking with me, right? But Tom's a constant character, funny dude. And I got the t-shirt signed by him, framed it, put it up. I just thought it was kind of cool. It's like, Tom's like kind of a legend. He used to be married to Roseanne Barr. I mean, he's got crazy stories. He told me this story one time about how for Jenny Craig, for you guys don't know, Jenny Craig's like a weight loss thing, right? Back in the day, him and Roseanne were sponsored by Jenny Craig. And if they could lose 30 pounds, they would get $10 million, right? They couldn't do it. Because I think they were drinking and blowing cocaine and doing all kinds of crazy shit at that time. That when they got the ice cream cakes from Jenny Craig, I'm pretty sure this is a documented story, that they would eat the whole box because they thought that they just didn't know what to do, basically. Tom ate the whole box, and because Roseanne was on like low carbs, she stabbed him with a knife in the leg. And I'm pretty sure that's like a story you can look up because he said it was fucking crazy. Like they were crazy, basically. So anyway, Tom's a unique character for sure. If I look down here, this one right here is pretty cool. Here's my first cover ever. So this was Fitness and Physique magazine, which was a small natural bodybuilding magazine. But what was cool about it, it was at Barnes & Noble's. So I met the owner of this magazine a long time ago in the bodybuilding community. Wrote a really cool article, went and got photo shoots. So this is in the mindset manual. I talk about how I went to my first photo shoot I booked through GNC. It was the GNC magazine, and Greg Plitt was there. And how I basically looked terrible and didn't do very good. Well, halfway through the photo shoot, I just told the guy, like, "Give me your card. I'll come back out here when I can represent myself better," because I did all of these things wrong. Like, had too much sodium when I flew, then I did cardio. Basically, I just looked soft as crap. So I said, "Give me a chance, I'll fly back out on my own dime, and will you shoot me?" And he said, "Absolutely." His name's Cory. I'll always be thankful for that. So I call him like 6 months later, I was diced. And I went back out there, and we took this picture and a bunch of other ones, and that, about a year later ended up being the first cover of the magazine, which was really cool. This other magazine, which is called Physique 3D, used to go out through one of the distributors to all the mom and pop stores. I shot that picture the same time as the Olympia in like 2015 or 16. It was by far the best photo shoot, one of the best photo shoots I ever had. This photo shoot alone became 4 covers of magazines and multiple features, one photo shoot, which is pretty uncommon, I would say. And so this one was it was a cool. I was just talking about my diet, talking about how learning, mindset and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, that guy's name is Shane O'Neill, and he did an unbelievable job. Here's a super blast from the past down here. This is the original ONBF flyer for the first show, second show I ever had. The first show I did that I actually hosted, not competed in, was the NABF Natural Ohio. I used to promote for a different organization. They were having all kinds of problems, so I took it over and just started my own shit. The Ohio Natural Bodybuilding Federation. I created this logo of me flexing on Ohio. We actually recreated that on a old school gym shirt, which is pretty cool. And this C-Cube design did it, okay? The reason why I'm bringing this up is because when I was at Columbus State, I met a guy that was in web design that was 60 years old at the time. It was like his second or third career. Well, he made that logo for me. He got cancer about a month later, and he died about 3 months later. So I really believe he was super passionate about web design. He was super passionate about helping me. He was one of my clients too. He was a cool dude. I really believe that I was one of the few people that he actually did something for in that new profession before he passed away that actually was saw by a lot of people. So I kind of took pride that that logo was on so many t-shirts and had done because the guy who created it, you know, had an unfortunate situation. His name was Chris. He was a really cool, nice guy. And so Tom Basso, which was a legend from the Ohio Valley, drug-free pro, was my main judge. We had this over at Pickerington Elementary, and we ended up having, you know, a couple different newspapers cover it and some websites, and it was just a really cool experience. And this is when I noticed that, and it was my strategy, right? A lot of people always ask me, like, how did you get known as a personal trainer, especially pre-internet? Or, you know, the internet was very early on, was I found a way by creating that organization that I could hang my name up in every gym across, not across the country, but across Columbus, because I was the promoter of that organization, and there was all these bodybuilders who wanted to do it. But think about it, I was also a personal trainer in my own studio. So I essentially hacked the system to be able to hang my name up in every gym across Columbus to be more well-known locally through the ONBF. I became the natural bodybuilding guy. I was the guy that was, you know, giving prize money. I was the guy that was doing really cool trophies. I used to have battle axes and swords and all these different things. And early in my career, figure that is 2003. I went from being in this very small gym to then going up to where my gym was, you know, 2,500, 2,600 square feet, 7 trainers. A lot of it had to do because of the ONBF, because I was able to bridge the gap of how I could get my name out more. So I think like stories like this are really cool because I had to critically think how I could, you know, make my business bigger. How could I get the word out? Content and all that stuff didn't exist then. And I believe, I've told this multiple times, that I have an advantage because I had to build a local business first. I didn't have all the great resources that we have now. They were just starting. And so I really believe that right there was a very intricate part of my career for sure. It's pretty cool.